Welcome to another CEO Wisdom podcast today with Adeleye Odebunmi. He is a fascinating guy. He's CEO at Pakam and checked his company last time. We had a brief called, it's mostly a green tech. It's a digital marketplace for waste collection, recycling, and smart enforcement, which is interesting. We're going to discuss about that in a moment. But before we do, this podcast brought to you by podbuyer.com. If you want to start, scale, or be invited a podcast like this one, get great guests like Adeleye, pick their brain, get insights from them, get subscribers, right? We will exchange audiences, me and Adeleye. Hopefully both will benefit from that. Build a community in the back end, get leads, and even get clients from a podcast. Podbuyer.com if you want to do so. Adeleye, I am glad to have you on. Can you tell me a bit more about yourself and Pakam?
Oh, thank you. Just like you said, my name is Adeleye Odebunmi, and I'm the CEO of Pakam Technology. Pakam is a digital marketplace for waste, recycling, and smart enforcement.
Right. Tell me about what you've achieved, because that's a pretty humble description right there. You're now like showing literally some companies in Canada how to potentially set themselves up, because what you did, like you and I, we talked about that last time. It's kind of a bit too early in the Nigerian market. I'm not sure how receptive folks there are, but it seems that you've built a 2050 platform for a country that is still living in the 2000s. Tell me about your success and what you've built so far.
All right, so thanks. First, we try to look at the circumstances surrounding our waste and the challenge.
I lost you. So let's see when Ade comes back. Until then, I will just tell you myself about Ade's business until he comes back. So Pakam is quite interesting. I mean, their slogan is enabling people, planet, and profit. So the guy like really did it, and how they did it was with an app. So let me share my screen here with you, and Ade will pick up when it will actually come back. Zoom is bugging today, by the way, which is why you're seeing that. But that is the technology here, and literally there's US VCs that come to edit for his tech and that wants to fund. There's cities that are like, here's a couple of 100Ks and please reproduce that for us. And it's interesting because I've had various folks on the podcast from big cities like Mexico City, for example, that came on the pod and tried to reinvent the model. I've also had smart bins folks come on my podcast. Ode, are you back?
I'm back. Apologies.
Yeah, no problem. I was just sharing with the audience like the platform here and telling them that what you're building has been attempted before, but not successfully. I had the guy on my podcast. He did peer-to-peer, so like the Uber of recycling, and having people like come at your door to take your trash out and so forth and recycle. He's starting, so I cannot tell you about that success, but seems like an interesting way to do it. And obviously he's hitting multiple challenges. He's in Mexico City. Can you tell us about like your model and how you're planning to change this market?
All right, so thank you. So what we are putting to the public is simple. And for you to be able to do what we're doing, you need to understand the entire waste infrastructure. And you can also understand the waste collection infrastructure without also putting it within the context of the larger environment. Hence, we have created a suite of software applications that includes Hand as You Waste, Pay as You Waste, and the smart enforcement. Now, the reason why we've created Hand as you waste, pay as you waste, and smart enforcement, I will give you those reasons. First, in this part of the globe, none of us were born to understand that we should sort our waste from source. So we grew up, commingling our waste, dumping it by the side of the road and all that. And as the population continues to bloom, to grow, then the effect of this waste, and the more waste we generate, the effect is now, all around us, the climate change challenge and what have you. So because of that, we felt there was need to bring the critical stakeholders together. And who are these critical stakeholders? The generators, the collectors, and the agency that regulates the ecosystem. Now, what should be the reason why you want to bring the generator? So if I want to say, okay, generator, come together with the collector, with the agency, I need to create an incentive. So that incentive is, okay, you know what, you can make money from your waste if you saw them from source, and the recyclable part of it, we will, just like Uber, we will come, we will evacuate it, we will scale it, and we'll put the kg on our phone, and you will see the value in your wallet on your own, hub, and you can transfer that money from your wallet into your bank account direct. And again, household will still generate other type of waste that are not recyclables, like the biomedical waste, like the medical waste, the hospitals and all that, and other specialized waste. And they have to pay for it. So you also have other service chain that will be dealing with that. So the sewage, the wastewater, so they can schedule for that. They can pay immediately, and the entire data can be transmitted to the collectors handling that region, and it can then proceed to then, collect those waste. So what we're actually doing that, what we're actually providing for the collector now is data to know where to collect from, not just driving aimlessly around. Secondly, we're also guaranteeing what we call payment guarantee. So because there's also this challenge that, when we do collection, these people don't want to pay, but this time around, payment activates the service. So then the last part is the agency that regulates. They need to know who is doing what is the volume that is being taken out, and that is where the entire data comes to play.
Right. Okay. Why are cities coming up to you and asking you to do work for them? Like, what you've built is it working? Does it have proof of concept? Do you think it can scale in a big metropolis?
Absolutely. The answer is absolutely yes. It can scale in any big metropolis. One of the biggest challenges, even in developed nation, that some of them are still having is data. Of course, some of this Western nation have good infrastructure. There is waste collection, even though it's changing, because the more population grows and consumption rate also increases, the more we generate. But data to show what is being generated, what is being collected, are very missing. And that is what Pakam is providing. And secondly, we built this solution trying to put into cognizance different regions, different perspective, different. So but again, we must also understand that waste is actually also local. So if I'm deploying to Canada today, if I'm deploying to US today, I will have to look at the realities in those places to tweak to fit into, for us to fit into those things. So it's just not going to be one program, one software fit for all. No, and that is the beautiful thing we've also done about Pakam, and that's why it's a platform as a service solution. So it's not just, no. So which one you want is what you get. Which one you want under the same umbrella.
What is challenging with humans when you're doing with human nature and psychology when it comes to reducing? I feel like we don't have an incentive to not throw something that's not recyclable in there. Should we try fixing human nature, or just have a bot do the triage and try to do the work for us, kind of?
Unfortunately, the bot can't do that for us. But like I said, in the UK, I know that kids, even from their mother's belly, already know that their waste bins are color coded, and they know what goes to where. It's the nature of the environment, and this constantly needs constant awareness and that. So It's not about bot or doing something for us, but in our own situation, we were not taught that. That wasn't there. But of course, as we continue to grow and we're seeing this effect, there is need for us to innovate. And that innovation is what we're also bringing to fore in form of Pakam. But the good thing is that we are now creating convenience through it. We're creating incentivization through it. So at every point, there is need for citizens. There is always this propelling spirit like, oh, there's something there for me. They are part of the solution. So we have seen from our deployment now that everybody wants to be part of that solution. And if Pakam can make them to be part of the solution, and they're also not putting something into their pocket, being a part of that solution is a win-win.
You also go with the punishment model. So it's like rewards and punishment, right? Like, good job. How do you punish folks that are not obedient and throw stuff they shouldn't throw in there?
So we are not the one punishing. So like I said, while we brought the three stakeholders together, which is the generators, the collectors, which are the business that operate in the ecosystem, and the agency, before we did it, we got a funding from GIZ and Ray Corporation in the US for us to do a research and to understand why people will want to get involved in waste management. And the first that we got was convenience. The second that we got was incentivization of the process. And the third we got from our research was enforcement. And the fourth was awareness. Now, people know, and we also know, and just like everywhere around the globe, when laws are being, promulgated, it is not a guarantee that everybody will listen. So if the law says do not burn your waste, if the law says do not bury your waste, you will still see a lot of people that will still burn their waste, that would just want to circumvent the entire system. You'll see a lot of people that want to bury their waste. You'll see a lot of people, and in our own part is what we've been used to, burying waste, burning waste, our medical waste, just dig the ground and pour it into it and all that. So, but cameras are also not everywhere, like the whole concept of the smart city. But the fact that we have more of smartphone penetrations, smartphones are everywhere. So you don't even know who's seeing you. You don't even know who's recording you. So that's why we created the smart enforcement, whereby you can just live stream live incidents, not recorded, live incident, and showcase it springs open your camera, and at the command and control center of the Environmental Protection Agency, they can see what you are reporting. There's a chat window that you can chat with the command and control center of the agency. If you don't want to talk, you can chat. If you want to talk, they can you can talk, and of course, you also listen to them. But on their own system, there's also a mapping system that shows them the exact geolocation of where you are. And now they can take both this live view, this live location, and send it to the responder, environmental officers responding in that very vicinity to it. And he can also view it on his own Pakam Responder application, then proceed, click on proceed, and it helps to navigate to the exact place of incident. Arrest the situation, put up this report, and start to build data. And we've tested our capabilities, and it's so fantastic. I think is the best that I can always, out of these whole suite of applications, is my most preferred. Yeah.
And who uses you so far?
So we've just trained the Lagos State Environmental Protection Agency, who will be in charge of that. We're supposed to deploy it together with Lagos State Waste Management Authority, enforcement part of it. And of course, I should also tell you that it's big for us because even the Lagos State governor had to also pay for that very service. So it's a paid service. So we just trained them. We're concluding on our agreement, and then immediately that is signed, I think they'll push it to open. So may I also say this? The reason why this is also very important in Lagos State is because the government has a 7-pillar agenda, and building a smart city even across the entire state infrastructure was part of it, which also includes waste management. And that is what Pakam is also adding to that, the agenda. Yeah.
Right. What's next for you guys? What are your goals this year?
We want to consolidate more on our, we're already in the market, we're already making revenue. We want to consolidate more on our energy waste. As it were, we have over 6.7 million households in Lagos. We want to be able to reach all those. We have over 25 million population in Lagos. We have over 3.4 businesses that are generating waste in large quantity. We want to be able to ensure that this waste do not get to landfill. We divert this waste from water bodies and all that into new production, and thus building circular economy. And we're also currently also raising to deploy infrastructure to enable collection in those days. And we're hoping that by October we should be able to close that fundraising for that very, very endeavor.
What will you invest the funds on, and why should VC give you their money?
All right, so the fund is typically to fund for infrastructure, for collecting recyclable waste in every ward in Lagos, and we have 377 wards in Lagos. Our goal is to deploy 75 in the first year, 113 in the second year, and it's a 5 years deployment program, which we're looking at almost $12 million to achieve that. But of course, I think the rationale why investors are interested and they are willing to also be part of this is because of the strong profitability of the core business and the high margin from the wide array of products that we are offering. The second is because we're environmentally conscious, so we do not intend to deploy the normal trucks that goes around to collect waste. So this time around, we're deploying solar-powered EV cargo tricycle, and the equipment we're also deploying will include solar-powered equipment like the balers, the crushers, and what have you. So which will also, improve the bottom line in terms of low operational costs and what have you. Then, of course, another reason why investors should also come in is because there are currently no business adopting this model, which is software plus EVs, smart cards, and solar collection hub. And for the fact that we're bringing this into light in Nigeria, in Africa, it puts us at a competitive advantage. And let me also say this clearly: whosoever are able to control the collection ecosystem will determine the recycling industry, and that's where we want to go to.
All right. Where can people find out more about you, Ade?
So I think our website, and we also have our emails there, info@pakam.ng. And I think, yes, they can always reach out through those medium, or my social media. I think I'm active on Instagram and LinkedIn. They can always reach us in any of our platforms, including the business platform also.
And I'm Charles Cormier, host of CEOWisdomPodcast.com. If you want to start, scale, or be invited to a podcast that is spotfire.com. That was Adeleye Odebunmi.